you for everyone taking time out of your day today to sign on and maybe learn something new. My name is Jessica Selders, and I will be teaching you a lot of fun techniques today. I'm going to show you my collection of shark fin shears and why you would choose different shears for a different task. This is Morgan today. She will be my lovely model. She also works with me here, and we are coming to you live from our salon, Studio 801 in Johnstown, Pennsylvania. So I'm really glad you guys are all taking the time. And like Willie said, please ask questions. That is what this is for. No question is a dumb question. Chances are, if you're thinking it, someone else probably is too. So we're going to start. I'm just going to go ahead and go at it. We want to, make the most out of your time today. Now I'm going to be cutting her hair both wet and dry. And we're just going to go ahead and start. She needs a good bit of these ends cut off. You can probably just see that on the camera. So we're going to go ahead and go in, and I'm going to take my longest shear because that's going to help me get the most off in the shortest amount of time, a little less work for me. I'm going to go ahead and just spray it down a little bit on the ends here. And there's a lot of I know you hear a lot about people, do you cut it dry? Do you cut it wet? It largely depends on the person's texture and, just what you're most comfortable doing. I personally, most of my haircuts, I pretty much do it twice. I cut wet, then detail it when it's dry so I can truly see how those layers are falling. I'm going to go ahead and turn the cape a little bit here so I'm not fighting with that little flap. All right, can you put your chin down like you're looking at the floor for me? I always have my client look down. That's going to help you make sure that any of these hairs underneath, you're not going to miss them. So if you have them, look straight up again. If you have them looking straight up and you cut, go ahead and look down. You're going to have some long hair sticking out at the bottom. So that's definitely something you want to do. Remember that your client can move and it'll make it easier for you. So I'm going to go in with my longest shear. This is my 7-inch Monarch shear. I'm going to shoot up a little bit here. We're just going to go ahead and cut right across. She's so excited for this haircut today. I told her she's getting a lot of this length done today. When you have a good shear, look how quickly I got through that and look how beautifully even and straight across that is. I used such a small shear for so many years, and it's really because that's what I learned with, and that's what I was most comfortable with. But every time I got a new pair, I slowly just went up a little bit more in length. And I realized, you're going to save yourself a lot of time. We know time is money. So anything to make your job a little easier for you. Now I'm just going in, I'm doing what I like to call point cutting or notching, just to soften up that bottom there. We don't like unless your client does want super crisp weight line at the bottom. All right, now we see she has no layers here, and we're going to put a lot of layers in for her today. You want to create that volume. That's the trend right now. Shags, layers, wolf cuts, as they call them. I don't know if you've heard that one. But yeah, you can see her hair is all one length. So this is going to be a really fun transformation. I'm going to start by just sectioning her off. Right above the ear, just your standard 4 sections. Okay, and when we're creating a lot of layers, especially with a lot of today's trends, they want to see a lot of movement and layers around their face. So what you want to do with a lot of that is start in the front, and it's all about the angles at which you pull the hair. So if you're going to pull it straight forward, that's going to give you some really good layers around the front because this is going to be your shortest piece. As it falls, you're going to have that beautiful angle around your face. The most traditional way and my favorite way to do it, I'm going to show you. It's going to save a lot of time. If your client's hair is fine enough, you can take it in a pretty large section. But you always want to go off where she parts. Her part's pretty much in the middle. I'm going to pull up that first section at 180. That's straight up from the top of the head. We're going to let some of that fall. And then instead of cutting it straight across, which a lot of people will do, I like to pull it at, would you mind, Courtney, actually just like raising my camera just a little bit? Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I like to pull it at a 45-degree angle at the top. What that's going to do is create more layers in through the interior of the haircut. And you're going to retain a lot of your length that way too. So it's very important to just watch your hands, keep your guide. And as you see, got that nice little angle there. And when we drop it, you can see we're already creating beautiful soft layers. We're going to go ahead and do the same on the other side. And again, I'm sticking with my longest shear for this. This isn't so much detailing as it is creating my base shape. Awesome. Now I'm going to continue around her head. That was the first two front quarters. So I'm going to do the same back sections. What I like to do is steal a little piece from my last section, and that's going to be my guide. So same thing, keep that 45-degree angle. You can see my guide there at the end. Go ahead and move on to the last section here. Same thing, vertical partings. You guys still with me?
Looks great. Still here.
Awesome. And again, the way I'm showing this haircut, it's not the only way to do it. There's so many ways to create different looks. This is just my preferred way to do it. I'm always incorporating little different things that I learned from all different classes. And I think that's the beautiful thing about what we do is you get to create your own techniques on the things you learn. So don't be afraid to step outside the box sometimes, try something new. So now that we got that nice little base for her, this is where I like to pull the hair forward. And she does want a little bit of a curtain bang. I love curtain bangs, to be honest, that's the thing right now. What I like to do for that is I will carve out a little triangle section here. You can tuck it behind her ear, use a clip to get it out of her way. Okay, so I like to pull this down. Turn it this way. Hide your little face here. So I like to establish my guide from the very middle. So you just want to take out a little section there in the middle. And we want her shortest piece to go right about to the tip of her nose. Now, always remember with bangs, never pull it super tight. I don't recommend you cut them wet at first. You know, you might stretch them a little too far and they might shrink too much when they dry. So I do like to cut them dry and always leave them a little longer than you really think because you may want to touch them up. Now I am pulling it out just a little bit of a projection just to give it a little bit of a more graduated look at the ends. So it's not really blunt cut. They have a really nice guide there. So then on each side, I got my guide where I just cut there. Just do a little slide cutting away from the face. And let your blade do the cutting, guys. Look at that. We're gonna go ahead and do the other side. Let's get back out here.
Just so everyone knows who's watching along, Jessica is performing a haircut that we call the April. If you go to our website under educational videos, or you go to our YouTube channel, which is Sharkfin Shears, you will see a step-by-step video of how to recreate this particular haircut in a very similar way.
Awesome, that's great, Willie. Thank you.
Thank you for making it easy.
So now I'm just taking her front section here. And I always like to almost create an angle away from the face. I'm going to turn her to the side a little bit so you can get a better look at that. There we go. So you got some really long hairs. Her hair's going to definitely need a little, I'm going to have to blow dry it and train it a little bit because she hasn't had bangs in a long time. Okay. Super cute. It's already laying so nice for her. Now I'm taking my vertical partings, and instead of pulling it straight up this time, I'm going to pull it outwards towards her face and start from the top as my guide and just notch all that out. I never like to do this blunt cut straight across. It just doesn't have that soft, feathery look that everybody's going for now. So just keep adding more hair using horizontal sections from the crown. And then I keep going all the way around. Pulling everything from back here out towards the face. So that's going to keep the hair back here longer and the hair in the top and the interior a little shorter, creating lots of texture and layers for you. Or phone lighter, get more. And the hair that falls, just let it fall. It's already where you need it to be. Now we can see that shape really taking effect there. Go ahead and do the other side.
What comb were you using, Jessica?
I'm using a pretty long comb. It's just what I like to do for longer hair and thicker hair. And I always use the wider end of the comb. I just feel like it gives you the best tension. I believe this is a pivot point comb. I've had it for a very long time. To adjust my phone thing. All right. So anybody who's just tuning in, we're showing a long layered haircut. We've already finished one side. Just trying to show a quick way to do a trendy look, you guys. We're always trying to save time, right? Oh, yeah, sides. I like to do this part. This is where I feel like the term shag really comes from. I like to pull everything towards their face. You guys like really see how it lays. I'm very visual with my haircuts, and I feel like to have a really good shag at the crown and at the top is where your layers need to be shortest. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of see how her hair falls, and this is the way it wants to lay. I'm going to go ahead and carve out. I'm going to turn this so you guys can see a little better there. I'm just going to go ahead and carve out a small section there at the top. And I'm going to go ahead and pull it up again. And I'm going to keep that angle. Where these pieces will be shorter and these ones will be a little bit longer. And I kind of like picture it like a pie. That's the way I take my sections, where the crown is like the center of your pie. Just go ahead and go around the head, take sections within your pie and just keep pulling it up. Your shortest section is going to be at the crown. And don't be afraid to get your hands in there and move that hair around, see how it's laying for you. All right, very cool. Oh my gosh, it's like you have less hair, but it looks like you have more hair already, girl. See that volume we're getting out of it now? It's gorgeous. And you saw in the beginning, we cut probably a good 3 inches off the bottom. All right. All right, so now I'm going to take a smaller set of shears just so I can really get in there. I'm going to create some hidden layers. I always like to do that at the crown too. We all want the volume through the crown, through the top of the head. So how I like to do that is take like a little V section in the back. Her too fluffy, and I was playing with it. V section. And now I'm just going to do a little slicing or slide cutting, just very gently, keeping my blade along the hair like that. We're just going to go ahead and slide up. And that's going to create some like little hidden layers underneath that's going to push the hair out and give us more volume. And it's a super easy technique to do. It's fun. Your clients love it. They're like, "Oh, what's that? What are you doing?" Same thing. I do my little pie sections at the crown. All right. Very cute. Now this is where I like to make sure there's no little hairs that are out of place. And this is another reason why I like to use such a large comb. Sometimes I let my comb hold the hair for me. And I've switched to my little tiny, these were my go-tos for a long time. I think are they 3.5? I believe they're the 3.5. They're my little tiny ones. Again, I'm just detailing. I'm going to just slide. You could use your shears as a razor. You know, a blade's a blade. And if you know how to use it, you can do a lot of things with just one tool. Make sure your blades are definitely sharp if you're going to do that on dry hair too. I should note that. Yeah. All right. Now I'm going to go in with some texture shears. I like the way that like sharp fin breaks them down, and there's so many different kinds. So you could have your, let me see here, these ones. These are an eraser. These have 30 teeth, but they have the teeth on both sides. These are great for blending. I love using these for fades. Also the 40T, that's really good for blending for fades, also softening the ends. Probably going to use these in her bangs a little bit, and I'll show you that in a minute. And then there's these ones that are really great for creating texture. And I'm going to try to give her some of that in through these top layers here.
So to give you an idea, that eraser we call it, it's literally a zero line blending shear because it cuts off of both sides. So you have you're virtually lineless. The second blending shear that Jessica showed you was a 40 tooth. And then the third one that she showed you was a 28 tooth. And now I believe she just picked up the 15 tooth.
Yep, you got it. Now for this, it takes out a good amount of hair. You can see how wide the teeth are, so you don't have to like go in too many times. I just go in about, my general rule with using them is see where the hair naturally bends. Turn right there. It bends right about in here, right? So I don't take my texture shears any lower than that from the bend to the scalp. That's going to create too many short little pieces. When you're working with like finer hair like this, and she goes to straighten it, she might have like little pieces sticking out. She doesn't want that, but we want some texture so that when she creates waves, it'll have that soft, wispy look. So from here, I just start at the top and I pretty much stay towards the ends with them. Just go in and just slide out. That's what's really nice with these two. Just do one or two. And again, once you establish your length with these kind of haircuts, I mean, it's all about the interior. The more, the better.
We also have an amazing video on our website and on our YouTube channel where we go through each texture shear and then show the results in hair. It's pretty cool.
Love it. I never knew really, you know, all the different ways to use them and why there were so many. And now that I keep growing my collection, it's like, I don't know how I went so long. You know, you really do need different tools for different situations, 100%.
I think texturizing shears can be one of the most overlooked things too, right? Because I know for me personally, up until recently, I would just say, oh, I'm using a texturizing shear. Well, how many teeth does it have? Like, you know, the way we do our texture shears is the 40 tooth we call a blending shear. The 28 tooth we call a texturizing shear. The 15 tooth we call a debulking shear. And the 7 tooth we call a chunking shear, but they're by no means limited to those descriptive words at all.
Exactly. Yeah, you know, a lot of people go back and forth, like, what's the difference between a thinning shear, or texturizing shear, all of that, you know, and it's really how you use them, you know, really essentially, right? I'm going in with the 40 tooth one now, just to really make sure that she has that nice wispy, soft fringe there. See that? The camera a little closer. Yes, that's beautiful, right? That is with the texture shears. That's how you get that look for sure.
Looks great.
Thank you. And she does a million times better. Just going to go through and check the bottom here. Spin you around. Even though I cut the bottom in the beginning, that was like a rough cut. So I do like to double check the perimeter when I'm done, especially when you're throwing in all those crazy layers and texture. You don't want them to be sitting somewhere looking down at something and then their friend sees like some random little hair sticking out. Nobody needs that. Go ahead and look down for me again. Perfect. Let's get see. There's a little tiny couple little hairs there. And I like to really, you know, take my shears almost aligned with the hair, and you can just really texturize the ends that way. Just makes it look really nice and soft, a lot lighter. Another thing I like to do, look to your shoulder like you're looking past the camera. Perfect. Have them turn their head to the side when you want to get that side, because this way you're not fighting over their shoulder and maybe changing the way the layers are going to look and lay. So always have them turn their head like they're looking over their shoulders so that you can get that nice angle there, and you can make sure you don't have any crazy long pieces. Go ahead and do the other side. See, I can see right here where we need to connect that a little bit more. Or that could have just been draped over her shoulder previously. All right. Gorgeous. Do we have any questions? Anything we want to go over?
No, I facilitated them to you from Facebook and whatnot. Everyone loves it. So
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, she already had some waves in her hair before she came in today, which is kind of nice. But we could see that volume she has now from before. I'm going to go ahead and post some before and after photos for you onto my Instagram too. We're going to go ahead and take some shots back in our little studio.
yeah, and once you post those, I'll definitely still them and put them on our page too.
Yeah, for sure. How much time do we have left? I can go ahead and do a little bit of styling.
Sure. I mean, we have around 10 minutes or so. There's nothing set in stone. So you can start styling. And if people start leaving, then we'll just end it and let you do your own thing.
Perfect.
All right.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'm just going to touch up a little bit of her waves. You know, in the meantime, don't forget, you can check out my Instagram. It's Selders Does Hair. Go ahead and you can message me on there. I'll follow you back for sure. And, you know, I talk a lot about shark fin. I've been with them for almost 2 years now. I love their shears. They're just my favorite. They're the only ones that I use. If you are interested in trying them, please feel free. You can use my ambassador's code, and that is JS, my first initial, last initial, JS. You can use it at checkout. And I do believe the promo right now, is it 3 texture shears, Willie?
It's two so
texture shears.
Any shear you buy using Jessica's code, which is the letter J, the letter S, you get 2 free texture shears and a free razor. The 2 free texture shears are a 40 and a 28. But if you happen to have a 40 and you'd rather have a 28 and a 15 or whatever, just put it in the notes. We'll take care of you.
That's awesome. Yeah, you can't beat that deal. I'm trying to build my whole collection. The 16 tooth I actually borrowed from our owner today. She let me use them. The only ones that we need to add are the 7 tooth, the chunkers.
A few people are asking, like, are these shears specifically made for dry cutting? So I want to jump in and just let you know, family, that all shears cut wet hair, they cut dry hair, they slide cut, they point cut. What we really want to focus in on, rather than is it a dry cutting shear, is what metal is it made out of? They're you know, in short, best metal in the world comes from Japan. There are 4 main metals used for making professional hair cutting shears. 440A is your base level. Just above that, with a small price and performance jump, is 440C. Above that, with a large price and performance jump, is VG10. And then the best of the best is called ATS 314. The better the metal, this is the best way to remember it. the better the metal, the better the shear is going to perform, specifically dry cutting, slide cutting, and how long it goes in between sharpenings. With all that said, like we offer a pro line, a professional line, professional plus, double shark, and monarch. Even our professional shears will wet cut, dry cut, slide cut. It's just a matter of the monarch, which is what Jessica started out with today. There's no metal better. So it's going to dry cut at a 10. It's going to slide cut at a 10. If you take care of it properly, it's going to go 12 months or longer in between sharpenings.
Yeah, that's a great way to explain it, Willie. I definitely prefer using my professional plus or the monarchs for slide cutting more than the professional. And I do notice the professional shears that I have, they still last me about a year or more before I need them sharpened. And those are like usually my go-tos. But I do notice they feel different because you can tell the different type of metal. So.
Hello, Miss Maria. Good to see you on. Say hello to all the students and faculty for us. Thanks for jumping on today.
Oh, awesome. I love to see students that are still in school, like taking the initiative and doing the extra classes now. Like that is so awesome because you're never going to stop learning in this business, you guys. Like I still take classes myself every day, even though I'm teaching them. You know, it's such a fun way to just show what you know and share what you know with others. We all learn from each other in this industry and you can never stop getting better. That's for sure.
Now's the time too, with Jessica being done with the haircut and we're just kind of styling. If you have any questions, even if it's not necessarily related to what we went over today, feel free to ask. You know, we have a couple of stylists on doing the class, and then myself included. So don't hesitate if you have any other questions to ask.
This is so much fun. I love these styles that are coming back. Like really, I truly do. I just love all the new names people make up for the stuff though, you know, but it's fun.
I have an aunt who's been doing hair for her entire life, you know, and I remember going to Indiana one time after I graduated school and talking about a balayage, right? And I remember she listened like intently for about 30 seconds and then said to me, you know, we've been doing that for years. You guys just gave it a fancy name and now you can charge more for it.
Yep, 100%. Oh yeah, we're gonna get some good photos here for sure. It's gorgeous.
Jessica, thank you so much for joining us today. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. It's always fun.
Yeah, you guys you always step up and fill the bill. So do me a favor, shoot me an email, and I'll just happily send out that 7-tooth texturizer for doing the class today.
Oh, thank you so much. That's awesome.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thanks again. Thank you. I forget Morgan. It's not Morgan. Mm-hmm. It is Morgan. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you for being our model today. And Jessica, in that email, just include her information and we'll happily send a shear out to Morgan too.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Awesome. Thank you to everyone for joining us. Keep an eye out on our Instagram and Facebook page. We'll post some pictures of today's finished look after Jessica does.
All right. Thank you so much. And I hope to see you guys next time.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Bye. Happy
Bye-bye.
Monday.